Imagine this for a moment. You're standing right there in front of her. No touching, no flirting, no effort to push anything forward. You're simply talking. Yet in those quiet pauses between your words, she begins to feel something she can't quite put into words. Most men never understand why a woman can become drawn to a man's voice more than his face, or to the way he speaks rather than the way he looks. That's because attraction doesn't begin with physical beauty. It begins with the feeling of being truly understood. And when the right compliment is delivered in the right way, it doesn't merely lift her ego, it reaches straight into her heart. Welcome to Psychology of Desire. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe, because what you're about to discover goes well beyond ordinary dating advice. This is about emotional intelligence, psychological connection, and the quiet power to make a woman feel emotions she simply cannot dismiss. Here's the truth. Every woman has heard countless compliments that carry almost no weight. You're beautiful. You have a lovely smile. Wow, you look incredible. Those words quickly become nothing more than background noise. Almost the moment they're spoken, they start to fade. But there are certain compliments, the rare kind, that never really leave. They stay with her. Hours later, they still echo in her mind. They make her hear your voice again when she's alone, long after the conversation has ended. That's where real attraction begins, not in the conversation itself, but in the lasting impression it leaves behind. Genuine compliments aren't about pointing out how she looks, they're about making her feel truly understood. Women don't fall because they're praised, they fall because they feel recognized. When a man notices something everyone else overlooks, he quietly opens a door into her emotions. And once you've stepped through that door, she'll never look at you quite the same way again. Before you offer any compliment, understand something essential. Women are exceptionally skilled at sensing emotional intentions. They pick up on your motives almost immediately. If you're complimenting her only to impress her, she'll hear it in your voice. If you're seeking her approval, she'll feel it in your energy. But when your compliment comes from truly noticing something unique, authentic, and nearly invisible, that's when her emotional walls begin to soften. Not because she consciously chooses to lower them, but because real authenticity has a way of slipping past the mind's natural defenses. Picture this. She's sharing a story about her life, her dreams, or something that holds deep meaning for her. Most men are too busy watching her lips or admiring her hair, but you're paying attention. You notice how her voice softens whenever she speaks about something she truly cares about. You see the light in her eyes when she recalls a meaningful moment. You recognize the quiet laugh she gives, not because something is funny, but because she's trying to conceal just how much it matters to her. Then, when it's your turn to speak, you don't compliment her appearance, you compliment who she is inside. Here's the real secret. A woman doesn't fall for the man who keeps reminding her she's beautiful. She falls for the man who helps her forget every moment she ever doubted her own worth. And the first compliment that can do that is the one that reveals something about her she never expected you to notice. Not her beauty, not her clothes, not her looks, but her presence, her depth, her heart. Women spend their lives surrounded by men who only notice what's on the surface. The man who sees what's beneath becomes the one she can't stop thinking about. So, before we move to the very first compliment, keep this in mind. You're not trying to persuade her to like you. You're creating an emotional experience. You're allowing her to feel something she never expected to feel. And once a woman links a powerful emotion with your presence, she'll naturally be drawn toward the source of that feeling, even if she doesn't fully realize why. The first compliment that quietly makes a woman fall is the one that speaks to her identity. Not the version of herself she shows the world, but the person she truly is inside. Every woman carries two versions of herself. One is displayed openly. The other stays carefully hidden. The moment a man notices that hidden side, she feels seen in a way that's both vulnerable and deeply irresistible. Imagine she's smiling, talking, maybe sharing a story she thinks isn't especially important. While everyone else simply hears her words, you notice what's underneath them. You calmly say, "You know something I noticed?" You genuinely care. Even when you never say it out loud, you feel things very deeply. She won't expect those words.